Yeah, you know it's only you I ever wanted, but still you front like I was never being honest.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be talking about 5 breastfeeding myths that you have been told or that you have heard about. We're going to debunk these myths one by one. Now, just a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional, so don't take my word for it. Make sure you go to a lactation consultant, you talk to your doctor and everything like that. This is just something that I've learned along the ways, you know, with having a previous child and during this breastfeeding journey with my second child. So if this video is something that you want to watch, just keep on watching. So the first breastfeeding myth is that you can't drink while breastfeeding. It's a lie. You can drink while you are breastfeeding, but you have to know your limit. You know, I don't know the specifics, but the rule of thumb is if you can drive, you can still breastfeed your child. It is recommended that you wait 2 to 3 hours before you nurse your child, but make sure that you pump. You don't throw it out, because there's so many things that you use with breast milk, that you pump, you know, right after you're done drinking. If you're not around your child, and if you don't, and you know that you're not gonna have the time to breastfeed them, and you don't want the very small amount of alcohol that's in your bloodstream to go to your child, make sure that you pump, or you pump beforehand to give your child breast milk while you're away. But you have to make sure that you do pump while you are, you know, out or whatever or what have you, or else your boobs are gonna feel like rock solid. So you have, regardless, you gotta pump, okay? Or if you're like me, you just feed your child anyway, because you know your body, you know your limits, you know how much you can take. You know the factors that are for those, like for breastfeeding for drinking while breastfeeding. You know, there's so many factors that go into that. So it's just like how fast your body absorbs alcohol, your height, your weight, if you ate, you know, before or after or during while you're drinking. There's so many factors that go into it. So there's literally a very, very small amount that would even go to your child. But if you want to be safe, wait those 2 hours before you breastfeed your baby. Second myth is that you have to pump while you're breastfeeding. That is not the case. So, you know, you pumping mothers, they're still breastfeeding as well. But when you have a pump one boob and a child another boob, like, you don't have to do that. You know, you're going to build an oversupply, and that in itself is not good. When you're pumping, you know, you don't pump to fill up the fridge, you pump to feed your child. So let's say, for example, you're a working mother, you pump every 2 hours. You know, what you're making that day is to give your child for the next day. So you don't necessarily have to pump while you're breastfeeding your child when you're at home. Like, there's no need for that. And the same thing at the hospital too. Like, you know, there's so many people that tell new mothers that they have to pump and breastfeed, like put their child to the boob. Let me say that, put their child to the boob, and that's not the case. You don't have to do that. You can use the pump to stimulate your boobs, because colostrum is so thick, and it could be difficult for your newborn baby to get, you know, the colostrum right away. And that's about it. You don't necessarily have to have a child on the boob and a pump on the boob. You're going to build an oversupply, and that's not healthy. Your child is more than capable of getting the milk out. If you have any issues, talk to a lactation consultant. So the third thing going into that is getting supplements like lactation cookies, fenugreek, and all that kind of stuff. Those things don't work. I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. They don't work, because it's like putting a band-aid on a 5-inch cut in your hand. It's not doing anything. You're still bleeding. That's just literally what, you know, all these supplements do. And you have to be careful with taking these supplements, because, you know, if you have any health issues, like for fenugreek, I know I've read somewhere that if you have any thyroid issues, fenugreek is like, you're pretty much killing yourself with fenugreek. So you have to be careful what you're taking, and what you're doing, you know, to, in a sense, help build your supply. The only way that's going to help regulate your supply, to build your supply, is to either pump or feed your child on demand. Do not wait 5 hours before your next feeding because you want your baby to sleep. Everybody wants to sleep. Everybody wants the baby to sleep, but the reality is babies are not supposed to sleep so early on through the night. That's just not the case. So giving your baby cereal, all kinds of nonsense that's not healthy for them, it's going to hurt your baby in the long run. It's going to hurt you in the long run. So the only way to help build your supply is to feed on demand. So that's when your baby cries, when your baby does a little ooh, put the boob in the mouth, okay? That is the only way that's going to help your supply. All these supplements that they're giving, it's not, they work, but it's not for long term, and that's going to mess up your breastfeeding journey if you want to, you know, breastfeed your child for 2 years, for example, you know. So those things in the long run aren't helpful at all. Fourth myth is that smaller boobs don't breastfeed as well, don't produce as much milk as big boobs. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Okay, your breast size does not matter on how you can breastfeed and how much milk you can produce. It's all about your milk ducts, you know, how many that you have in your boob. It's all about the muscle that's actually inside your boob. The size of your breast does not matter. Before I had kids, I was like a size B, so my boobs weren't like the biggest boobs out there, you know. So if I'm able to breastfeed, you're able to breastfeed. Once again, talk to a lactation consultant that's at the hospital. Please, 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 new mommies and mommies, you know, to be, please request for one, search for one. If you want to breastfeed, they will help you. And if you feel like you're not getting any help, find another one. You are there to pay them, okay? And they are to service you. It's not the other way around, okay? And last myth is that breastfeeding comes naturally. And that's not the case. There's so many mothers out there who would love to breastfeed. You know, they want to give their babies that, you know, that nutrition. You always hear breast is best, breast is best. And that's true, because there's so many nutrients that's for your baby and for you as a mother. But that's not always the case for every mom. There's a lot of women who struggle with that. And for my first, I struggled a lot. Like there were so many moments, you know, in the beginning of my breastfeeding journey with my first daughter, was that my nipples were in pain. Like it was my left boob, and every time she would try to latch, like I would literally cringe. Like it was like a trigger for me, because I knew that was the boob that was going to cause the most pain when she decided she wants to latch on. I didn't get that corrected, you know, until maybe a month or so into breastfeeding, you know, with her. So I spent like about a month with just so much pain with her breastfeeding, and I just had to work that out. You know, every doctor's appointment, they ask, you know, how's it going, and they helped me with different positions and things like that, and we finally figured out. But with the second baby, she was a pro. As soon as she came out the room, she's like, I'm getting me all the milks, okay? So that really helped so much. But that unfortunately doesn't come naturally with a lot of women, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If breastfeeding is not something that you want to do, or that you've tried and that you struggle with, there's so many resources out there for you that can help you. But don't feel bad that you don't want to breastfeed, or that you, in a sense, can't. You know, there's other ways to feed your baby. That's why they created formula. I'm not anti-formula or anything like that. The most important thing is that mommy and baby are healthy. That is it. That is all. You just got to make sure that you take care of yourself and take care of your baby. That is the biggest point of this. But these are all the myths that I've heard about breastfeeding, and they're all a lie. You know, do your research, moms and moms-to-be, about breastfeeding. You could always breastfeed. It doesn't matter if you started, you know, formula feeding your child 6 months in and you want to breastfeed. There's ways to do that. There's so many things on the internet. Google is for free, okay? You know, contact your local hospital. Contact, you know, any lactation place that will be able to help you. You can do it. I believe in you. I know it's difficult, and I know there's so many pressures for us as moms to be perfect and all super womany, but you know, we have to be honest with ourselves. We do struggle. So these are the myths. If there's any other myths, comment them down below. If I missed any, and we can sit there and discuss and debunk these myths together and help all mamas breastfeed if that's what they want to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 600 subscribers. I'm so excited. The ultimate goal is 1,000, as you guys know, and I appreciate you guys so much for all of your love and support. I love connecting with you guys. I love talking with you guys. I love engaging with you guys. So make sure you comment so we get to talking about these breastfeeding myths. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, you guys. I love you. God loves you. See you in my next video. Peace.
Yeah, you know it's only you I ever wanted, but still you front like I was never being honest.